Was that the right one?
Ooh, what's happening? I don't have any other one.
Oh, okay. We gotta make you a history one,
I
buddy.
know. I got to make myself something, or have you do it, or have my multiple producers do it.
Have your Jamie do it.
Well, someone that I don't even know if is in the chat says he's been working on one. Hey, what's up, Bob? Um, Let me go
Darth
through.
Bob of Texas.
Oh, cool
Yeah,
guy.
Matt.
Very cool
Finally
guy.
starting at 8:15 when the
He's a
show's supposed to
knight.
start.
Matt Rissman, like always. I hope you fall asleep soon, and I hope I give you some comfort while you snooze off to bed, as you like to say. My stream
creepy.
does. Well, no, apparently I have a stream that helps him go to sleep. Gray Pilgrim and Darth Bob, thank you guys for showing up. Everyone else that normally is here and isn't, I hate you guys. Don't come back. Good riddance.
That's a great way of keeping people to show up.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, so we were originally going to do Alexander the Great. We're going to hold off on that, push it out a few weeks. Let me see what this guy is saying. All right, Matt, whatever. So yeah, we're going to go over the Vikings today. It's a lot of history. We're not going to cover all of it, obviously. But you know, the History Channel, the first show, Vikings, one of my favorite shows, at least up until season 5. And we'll also get into the abomination of the Netflix Valhalla series, which I absolutely despise. But yeah, this is a cool topic. One of my favorite cultures in general, just the history of them. Absolute savages, not in the actual. I mean, yeah, because they were pretty advanced for their time. But yeah, they were a lot of the times known to be. They were referred to as savages, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're a huge English history guy, so these two intertwine very well.
Yeah, it's really kind of amazing how you had this just really extreme warrior culture. And
yeah, for sure.
Sort of, I mean, I don't know if I would call the English culture a peaceful culture at the time, but they tended to be more interested in peace than the Vikings or the Danes were at the time.
Well, they're interested in peace as long as you submit to the god that they worshipped, for the most part.
Well, yeah, but like even so, you watched Last Kingdom. Last Kingdom did a great job of explaining how at least Alfred and the people plus or minus, let's say 2 or 3 kingships went.
Right.
And it was really just it was more of a, I don't care who you worship, as long as you're not fighting me. If you start fighting me, then the only way we're having peace is if you submit to my God.
Yeah, and you know what? I was just making a little
I know. But it is funny that you say that, because there is that perception that I think all of our schooling gives people of like the early church and stuff like, and the medieval church really. The early church was nothing like that, but the medieval church really has this perception. I think part of it is because of the Crusades.
Yeah, definitely. What's up, RG Energy? Good to see you here. Thanks for showing up, buddy. So before we dive into the history, just wanted to present a little map of just
excellent,
a visual of how far they reached. The darker brown reddish color is the 8th century. Red is the 9th, orange 10th, yellow 11th, and this is a visual of where they actually ruled at one point or another. And then the green is just the areas that they raided. I mean, look how far they reached. And there's speculation. I think it's more than speculation. They definitely made their way to to the Americas at some
No,
point?
it's stone cold actual fact.
Okay.
Yeah, Leif Erikson was the first European to set foot in the Americas.
Yeah, and that will lead into that's supposed to be one of the main leads of the Vikings Valhalla series, and they absolutely just hate to say it, cuck him, because they present the show as like, oh yeah, this is going to be about Leif Erikson and his journey to across the world and how he became
Was it not?
No. So I haven't dove into the actual history of Leif like a lot. I've Googled a few things. But he has this sister, and they're supposedly what was his father's name? Forgot. I mean, we can look it up when we get they go basically the show they claim it's about Leif, but then they like make the whole show about his sister, of course. Like, I kid you not, more than half.
You mean would it, if I were to, I don't know, sing a song about it, do you think the chorus would be something like put a woman in it and make her gay?
Good timing.
I mean, do you think that would be, I mean, no one would ever be that dumb, right?
Yeah, for real. Okay, so I guess at first glance, Freydis, Eric's daughter, was actually his sister, just on first glance. But and Eric the Red was who.
Yeah, Eric the Red was the father.
Yeah, so I mean, I get and look, the Norse sagas are pretty hard to take as 100% truth. In most of my research, it's always noted that this Viking might have been. Oh, what's up, King Chris? Thanks for coming, buddy. Yeah, so it's that I can never find things as stone cold fact or take things as stone cold fact when I'm reading about this stuff, just because like they're like, oh well, Ivar the Boneless could have been Bjorn's son, brother, and they could have been sons of Ragnar, but I think the only one that it's pretty definitive in terms of the Lothbrooks is that Ivar the Boneless was indeed his son. But again, this history is just like it's a little too difficult, I think, based off of translation.
One issue you have is one of the reasons that parentage and lineage is so well documented in Western culture is because of how important it was for from the lowest person all the way to the king to know who your sons, parents, all of them are. What's up?
Of course, yeah, because you have royal bloodlines and whatnot.
Yeah. And but there with the Danes and the Northmen, whose father you were wasn't as important because a lot of what you ended up getting was through the strength of your own hands.
No, did they not also spread their seed like they were planting a field? But I mean,
but they definitely took the son of a mighty Viking is going to take precedence over the bastard of a king. Right?
Yeah, and
that still is very much true. Like,
depending on how they define so the thing you got to remember is one of the reasons
I was going to foot.
Thanks, bud. One of the reasons that the West documented father, son, father, child, all that so well is because of how important the birthright was.
Yeah, but for sure.
Right.
With the Danes and the Vikings and the Northmen, whichever, there's 80,000 different words for them. The way they split their wealth wasn't through that same system. It was very unique. I don't really remember how it worked, but
Well, so we have to remember too, like at the time of it's kind of it correlates with the English history and how they had much stronger, much more centralized like countries, you know. So you had Mercia, you had East Anglia, you had England, or not, it wasn't England, Wessex, yeah, and Northumbria. And with Vikings, it was pretty similar. I mean, you had Norway, you had Danes, you know, you had Finns, and like it was
later you had Finland.
Yeah, and like you know, it was kind of similar too. They were constantly warring with each other, and when King Harold came along and united them, it was similar as King what's his name? Why am I forgetting it? We just talked about this. Alfred. Yeah, I was going to say Edward, but that's the son. But yeah, it's so they were similar in that sense, but I think they weren't as what's the word am I looking for? Like advanced wouldn't be the right. It wouldn't do it justice because they were advanced in a lot of other ways than England was. You know, like they like
modernized.
There's I get. Yeah, they weren't as guess
leaning towards modern Western culture.
Well, like
what about centralized?
And that's kind of what I think I noted something about that a second ago.
They had a decent centralized like country structure though.
Yeah, they did, and they definitely had culture like that. And that's why I say advanced isn't correct because I mean they had some of the most advanced seafaring voyages of that time period. You know,
well, I mean you've got Leif Erikson crossing the friggin' Atlantic Ocean in what 1110?
That is way after all of their like when they started raiding. I mean, they were going into Russia, like they were France, you know.
But like what I'm saying is you've got this guy making a voyage that any of these powerful nations would have gone, nah, you can't do that. You can't cross an ocean.
Oh yeah. And I believe they used a sundial and a sunstone to do that.
Well, if the show is accurate,
yeah,
that's how Ragnar did it.
Yeah,
but that is in fact what Ragnar's famous for. Like in real life, is that he was the one that was able to navigate them across the North Sea to a new world to them.
Yeah, definitely.
They're tired of messing with the broke-ass Russians.
Well, yeah, the broke-ass Russians and the inability to farm in Norway. Because that's one of the things they always, and this is one of the great things about the Saxon Chronicle, is Alfred wanted everything written down. And so the meetings that Alfred would have were written down. And so whenever you read about the what are they called, the treaty conversations that Guthrum or Alfred's brother and the original Guthrum, because I believe there's two Earl Guthrums. There's the Earl Guthrum from about 960, and then there's the one that led the Great Heathen Army.
Well, and that one, I believe.
Are they one the same?
No. They're yeah. So I think the one that you're talking about that led the Great Heathen Army came prior to the other king or the other King Guthrum, because that one was actually half Dane, half English, I believe.
Okay.
And King Guthrum was part of the first main army, because I mean there's been multiple great armies, I believe, but the one that you're referring to was because as much as I love the show, The Last Kingdom, they did leave out Ragnar Lothbrok dies pretty early, but he was part of that army. But yeah, they kill him off pretty early, I think, in terms of the history. But I could be wrong on that.
Well, so I don't think that original Ragnar is supposed to be Ragnar Lothbrok.
Well, they sure make it look like that. I mean, because
really?
His name. I mean, his name's. One of his names translation was Ragnar the Bearded. So they show him, with this great big beard and had all these kids,
Yeah,
Yep.
I always just
Young
thought it was
Ragnar.
supposed to just be a great Viking, and he just has a powerful name.
Yeah, no, I think they were trying to include him
Oh.
in the Great Army.
Okay.
I believe so. But again, like I was talking about when we opened this, it's like this history, like especially with these shows, they tend to take a lot of liberties.
Yeah.
Right. And which makes
some
sense.
do a better job.
I wish this wasn't the last minute for me. I would have loved listening to stuff for this.
Well, you know, the title.
This won't be it.
Yeah, this one it was a backup topic, so we're kind of just winging this one.
Yeah.
Well, don't tell them that.
Oh, it's all right. I'm an honest guy. We're gonna have plenty more on this topic because I feel
We said it right off the rip. It was supposed to be Alexander, and he's been teasing it, but it is coming, people. It is.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do it. We'll also be doing a revisit to the Virginia alien case, and maybe Caleb will actually grow a pair and join us for that conversation.
Oh, that's
he was saying today how much he actually enjoys our conversations.
So. Really, it's
I don't
surprising. Surprising you can enjoy them when you don't listen. As I digress. But yeah, no, the Viking culture, there's a lot to cover, and it does intertwine with a lot of like English history, like I was saying before. So we can definitely deep dive into some other topics. But yeah, so I want to start, I guess, with the Viking show. Did either of you guys watch that History Channel show?
That's my hiccup right now, is that everything Viking wise that I know in my head is like even like it's mixed right now, because all I can picture is the show, because up until it was all about the sons, which I mean it was still okay.
Yeah.
But the show
wasn't great.
Phenomenal.
I know.
love the show.
And Catherine Winnick. So bad. Lagatha. Bro.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, for real though, man. So what did you like about that show? Because my personally, I think seasons 1 through 4 like kill it. Like
I loved how they made us love a psycho.
Oh yeah.
Ragnar is straight psycho, and we're like, I love that man. he's the greatest.
No, he is a complete psychopath.
And, you know what that's a great example of?
I want to say you're about to go into some Game of Thrones lore here.
Good writing.
Oh.
Which is kind of lore for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Man, that scene, and I don't care about spoilers because the show's old. Jim, that scene. Oh, I just doxed you. Sorry.
It's been stated multiple times.
Cool.
I'm Jim, everyone. Nice.
Oh yeah. Cheers, guys. Caleb, I hope you have a beer or something.
I don't. I drank all mine.
I got one for him.
Yeah, I got another one here for him too.
I'm celebrating a bit. I got 2 beer tonight.
I think it's the end of season 2 when he kills King. The redheaded dude. What's his name? Damn it.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. Canute?
No, it's not King Canute.
I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of Canutes. Oh, I think it's King. No, it's not King Harold.
The Viking king?
Yeah, he's the first
English
king that he encounters in like the first great king. He kills him and then that's when Ragnar becomes the king.
Oh, is that the one he fucking blood eagled?
Dude, when he no, because he just he headbutts the guy and just smashes him God,
King Harold. Harold.
Are you sure it's Harold? Because King Harold, I was gonna say
King Harold. It's King Harold.
Because there's 2 King Harolds, aren't there? King Harold. No, King Harold is the dude with the goatee who ends up killing his brother, and he lasts for a long time.
I'm almost certain it's King Harold. Oi.
I almost want to say you're correct as well, but it's this guy, King Horik.
Horrid.
Yeah, I know.
Started with an H.
Dude, that lead up though to when he takes over, like such a cool fucking build up.
Who's the one he blood eagled?
He blood eagles. God damn it! I was just looking at that.
Who is that?
It's this guy. I'm forgetting his name.
I thought that was the king.
All right. No, it's this guy.
Oh.
And I don't know why I'm forgetting his name now. And he's an Earl. It's Earl.
Yeah. I almost wanted to say Hiddleston, but I don't.
No. Tom Hiddleston, Earl Loki.
That'd be right.
I don't think they would have let you name yourself after Loki.
It's not Earl Harold. Is it Harrelson? Yeah. Earl Harrelson? No, that was the first one.
Huh.
When you were saying he killed King Harold,
I don't think he ends up killing King Harold. I believe.
I'm forgetting now. Good, that's early. Like, yeah, I don't know. We started rewatching it not too long ago, but
I always rewatch and then I stop after like season 4.
Yeah, you get burned out.
So
I've heard Valhalla is really good though.
What?
I've heard really good things.
Okay, I thought you said it was really good. It is not really good.
No, that's what he said. That's what Dog said. He said
I've
he
heard
it's
really good things.
No,
of
he heard. Not that it is. No, trust me right now. If you're a fan of the Viking show, do not watch it. It was hot garbage.
Damn.
They didn't even try to stay historically accurate. No, they do the classic, just I'm going to cut all the male characters and I'm going to go in and make this about a woman leader.
Put a woman and make her gay.
Side off, but they did that with Lagatha too, making her a fucking
lesbian. But she was okay. They definitely did. She was a beloved character though from the start. I mean, also she's just hot as shit.
Yeah. We gave it a bit of a pass.
That helps.
I mean,
and Ragnar lost his mind anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think my wife recovered from Ragnar leaving Lagatha for alien-looking bitch.
I don't think I've recovered.
Yeah, she was like, "What?" Yeah, I'm totally there with you.
And then his new wife just didn't even compare. Aslog. I mean,
not even a little.
She's not.
You had Ragnar out there, literally.
Look, here's the thing. Fine. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah, but it's I guess while we're on the topic of the shows, my biggest issue with so they took liberties in the first one, like in terms of history, like making. Like I think it's as much as I've read into it, like Bjorn Ironside isn't like verified as a son of Ragnar.
Ragnar, yeah.
They do. I think they do believe that. What's the other one's name? No, Ivar and.
Or Ivar.
God dang it! The not
Ube?
Sigurd. Ube, yeah. So they do think he's he was related to Ivar, and the Last Kingdom as well portrays that Ube and Ivar were brothers. But Bjorn Ironside, I from what I've read at least, they that was a liberty taken.
I remember hearing that at some point, yeah.
And I'm okay with that just because how the story was written and it turned out well. But with Vikings Valhalla, dude, like King Haakon, I think that's how you say it. like, first of all, was a dude, and second of all, was not of African American descent, and that really bothers me. Like, just because the
y'all heard it here first. Daimyo's racist.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm not racist.
Are we shocked? I mean,
God damn it. But yeah, like, it's one thing to race swap or gender swap. When you're double whamming that, like, come on, and you're dealing with history, and King Haakon was a real person. It's just doing a disservice to history at what, the cost of, like, the Panderverse, right? since it's relative now. I mean, for real though, it's like it really bugged me, and like I was telling Caleb before that they made the show seem like it was going to be about Leif Erikson's journey, and then they just completely sideline him and, you know, give it to his
Valhalla?
sister. Yeah, and the show is marketed as this is Leif Erikson's story, and then they give it to his sister Freydis. And yeah, and I really haven't dug into her like Viking history, but yeah, it very much is that, you know. I mean, she ends up getting the sword, you know, that sword that Ragnar always has that he got when he killed King Hork. There's that like Viking sword, like it's got like these imprints on it, and I forget what it's actually called, but
yes,
yeah, because it might be a real sword in history, but it might
Caleb,
not.
That should be added to your pie.
What?
For the what do you call it?
Well, he didn't watch the show.
Well, no, because it's their like important swords in fiction.
Yeah,
and that's not big enough.
True.
Yeah, it's not, and it's not that huge of a deal in both series. I think they're trying to make it be.
Point at me, I was like, "Oh my god, something's going on! What's happening?"
Yeah, but regardless, it's that's I get really bothered by that. Just like you're not, like, it's all right to take liberties, but to like outwardly take a liberty just to, you know, pander, it really pisses me off. It really pisses me off.
Yeah.
The thing what's so annoying is there's a reason you picked the story to make a show about anyway. And it's because they're incredible stories. And all you're doing is ruining the story that you have decided to tell.
Yep.
When the outward forces overtake the story and the writing becomes shit. Because then it then needs to be tailored around it. Like we said earlier, Lagatha being a well-written character, they never forced Lagatha on us. They would just made her a compelling and an awesome fucking character. And plus, they casted her with like one of the most gorgeous women in the world.
For real though.
Like, fuck.
I know, for real, man. And you know, they do a little bit of that agenda push with her, but in the end,
not till later.
Yeah, not till later, not till after they killed off all their main characters, which I don't know why is a thing these days in writing.
I mean, Ragnar did have to die historically, so
100%. But
that made sense. But
it did. The way they did it, like, they should have progressed the children throughout the show. In my opinion, it felt abrupt that they just all of a sudden halfway through the series, they're all adults and we're all supposed to just care about them because we saw. I found
myself only caring about Bjorn. I didn't give a rat's ass about the other kids because I seen them when they were babies, and then all of a sudden they were troublemaking. Killed the lady that needed to be killed 3 seasons ago in the lake, and then all of a sudden they're adults now, and I'm like,
so other than you know, outside of so I agree. Bjorn's story and Ubba's story were the only ones I really cared about. Ivar felt just like, I don't know. And they really did kind of hit all agenda points. You have a disabled guy like on a chariot, You know,
Ivar the boneless.
I'm sorry. Jamie, can you pull this up?
What do you need?
I want to see this.
Ivar, try to find him on those crutches or that metal thing. It was pretty. Go on.
Disabled person in what way?
Like crippled.
Like didn't have no.
Now
he's straight up Lieutenant Dan. He ain't got no legs.
God,
the Vikings, the warrior culture of the world. We're all like, we won't kill him.
Okay, so I
there's him just screwing around like he does.
I looked into that a bit, a fair amount actually, and there's nowhere.
He's a real person.
He's a real person, but nowhere does it say that he was 100% paraplegic. So like they definitely put him in there to like. I honestly do think like the
world had wheelchairs at the time.
So one of the things they wooden one, and he rolls around in one.
Just made a wheelchair for him.
He rolls around in one at a few points.
Okay,
but then they give him these like metal like exoskeleton.
They gave him straight up Forrest Gump legs.
Yeah.
Where he was running.
Titanium.
Oh my god, dude! And they have him like doing this like weird like.
What's the Lollipop Guild?
Yeah, dude, it's so bad. They gave him Special Olympics armor, and
it's called plot armor.
Yeah, plot armor for real though. But like, so everything I've read, it was like some things I've read was it could have just been a name because like he had, like maybe he had a disease, like so like there's I forget that one disease where your bones just break a lot. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you heard of it? Like
weak bone syndrome thing?
It's something like that, where like the smallest of injuries though could like cause a bone to break. But never does it say that like he absolutely cannot like walk, right? Like that part I felt like this is ridiculous, but
he didn't just like he slithered is when he
that's how he
got around.
Yeah,
he was just a slithery little thing.
Yeah, he did. That's so
and his thing didn't work either. But see, so from what I understood is that made him even more ruthless because one, his thing didn't work, and two, everybody laughed at him. Like he straight up killed his own brother.
Oh yeah, he throws an axe in his brother's chest.
Yep. Like he's ruthless. And then he also bared witness to Ragnar dying in the show. So
Mattuine's here.
Hey, what's up, Mattuine?
Matt.
We're just talking about crippled Vikings right now.
Indeed.
And how the manhood didn't work.
Here's him using his ice picks to slither around in the hall.
Yeah, that really helped. That did not help my interest in those last seasons.
Boom. He's just snaking through the whole thing.
He's coming to pleasure his king.
Indeed.
You know who he looks like? He looks like the Dominic Monaghan. Not Dominic Monaghan. What's the name of the guy that plays Cal Kestis?
I don't actually know his name at all.
Dominic Monaghan is the guy from Lord of the Rings. But Jedi.
I do not know his name.
Cameron Monaghan.
Cameron. That does make
sense. Yeah. He plays
that rings a bell.
Plays one of the gay guys in Shameless.
Do what now?
I was just saying that's what he reminds me of. He looks a lot like Cameron Monaghan.
A little bit. Yeah.
Our host had to go get a new beer.
I also
Skull. That's what y'all should have done. Y'all raised a toast, and you didn't say skull.
Yeah, that was a big swing and a miss. That was a big swing and a miss.
You're gonna have like 7 years of bad luck now. You're gonna wake up and find Loki in your bed.
You know, I'd be ready.
Thank you for the warning. I was ready for him, but it's much easier if the cops do it. Don't we agree?
Fucking love that clip.
I love the way he's
my favorite clip.
The cops. It's like they're Secret Service agents. They're not cops.
Yeah, but he's trying to be relatable.
Yeah. I love the way he is relatable doing that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, my turn.
For what?
I need a beverage.
Oh, okay. Well, where'd Caleb go? He just turned his mic off. All good. I guess we'll leave you.
You need to mute him because he muted me by accident.
I did not.
All right, go get your beer. Go get your beer.
Here we go.
So Caleb, I know you haven't like done too much digging into like the Viking culture, but I'm sure you've read a decent amount just based off of the English side of history. What is your what's your like top interest, I should say, like with the Viking culture, at least in terms of like the attacks and stuff and how they did it?
So one of the things that I really like, and it's they do a really good job of showing it. And like I've told you, I didn't see Vikings, but I did watch Last Kingdom. And one of the things that they did a good job of showing in The Last Kingdom was the way fighting took place. And one of the things that I really like is that very first battle where they use the mysticism and the fact that the Saxons are afraid of them. They use that to their advantage. It's like that's such a it's a callback. I guess not really a callback, but it's it reminds me of the story of why Blackbeard would put candles in his beard. It was because it would scare people. And them in that first episode, they've got the fog, they've got smoke, they're talking as if the devil is speaking.
Well, that brings a point that I wanted to say about this is that Christians of that day legitimately thought they were devil worshippers.
Yeah.
Like they thought they were like incarnations of demons.
Yeah. Well, and there's that there. It's one of those things with the whole, they were pagans and the Saxons for the most part. There was still a little bit of paganism and some Saxon at the time, but for the most part that area of the world was very Christian, and you had this opposing religion, this opposing force who were not peaceful show up and just really start beating the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a very good
9:30.
Yeah, I did, and that's he's asking, right, like when they started to integrate as Christians, correct? I mean, that's how I took it.
Yeah, so how I read it, I'd say it's about right around the Battle of Effendom. After Alfred wins the Battle of Effendom and peace comes to the land, he divides, he creates what it was Daneland. And the Watling Street, they talk about Watling Street in The Last Kingdom. That was an actual thing. There was the Battle of Watling Street in about 820 AD, I believe. And it basically was the first big battle between Saxon and Dane. I think the English lost. The Saxons, I think they lost. And it ended up becoming the dividing line of Daneland and the Saxon kingdoms. And so right about then, when the Danes actually had a peaceful foothold, is when I would say there started being this merging of cultures.
And you have to remember too, like there were many accounts of Viking mercenaries, clans of Vikings that would join English armies.
Yeah.
For pay or for land. King Guthrum, the first one, ends up becoming, I think, one of the first Vikings in history to actually convert to Christianity. And on top of that, 100 years later, a couple hundreds of years later, you have actual like Christian Viking communities back in their homeland, in Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden. So it really became, like a lot of Europeans these days in England, like you do 23andMe, like they're going to have some Viking blood, whether that was forced or not.
Again, they were spreading the seed like they were planting the field.
Exactly. But some of them willingly did convert to that religion, and you have this like around 1000 AD, right? Like
right around there.
You have
late 800s to 1000.
Yeah, so the Viking era is basically from like I think 1820 to about 1120.
It goes back, I think, 750. It goes back to around
once the
750.
Normans showed up and won the Battle of Hastings, they weren't like content to be, well, okay, we'll just pay them off. No, they killed them. Like the Normans weren't peaceful about that shit because they had been dealing with the same shit in France for 200 years. They didn't want to come here and deal with the same stuff. So they killed them if they weren't going to be peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I have for Viking timeline. You've got Vikings begin their attacks on England in 790.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So if you jump down to 1000, that's kind of what I was saying, is that they like Christianity reaches Greenland and Iceland, and so that means that the mainland also already had to have had Christianity had to have a large influence.
Yeah. So
right?
In order for it to spread, you've already got to have a base somewhere. But yeah, so what says down there at the bottom, Harold Godwinson, King of England, defeats Harold, King of Norway. And then William, the Duke of Normandy, fucking William the Conqueror. That's one of the reasons why they think there's a lot of history that we have forgotten. Because when William the Conqueror defeated Harold in the Battle of Hastings in 1066, he actually 1066 October 28th, I believe. We're not far removed from the anniversary of the Battle of Hastings. And so there's a lot of people that think a lot of the history that we know of as myth, like the legend of King Arthur, all that history is gone because William burned it all.
So Matt Tooling brings up a really interesting fact
that
I did not know.
Harold, the first king of Denmark, the king that y'all are all talking about, King Harold, his last name means Bluetooth. It's the rune Bluetooth, not Harada. It's
that's of England.
Gormson.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, Harold Gormson, the first king of Denmark and Norway. The runes for his name were used for Bluetooth.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Think about it too. His breath probably smelled horrible. You get the name Bluetooth?
What?
Bluetooth? Are you kidding me? That means all
right now.
Hell.
Is that like historical like skulls that are found, like ancient skulls, actually have like almost perfect teeth? Isn't that crazy?
A little skeptical about that, but
well, they probably weren't eating as much sugar as we are.
Yeah, true. That doesn't mean their teeth were white.
Also,
though.
you just continue bloodlines more and more. You're going to get more and more inbred. Yeah.
That's the only trivia.
It's okay, dude. It's a good trivial fact.
That was good. Yeah, that's interesting. I'd never heard that before. So another what?
The Viking chief Rollo is granted land. Oh yeah, he talks. The first couple of months, he always brought that up.
Yeah, how what?
There's a Viking warlord named Rollo.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, of course he brings that up.
Too bad he was in the shallow end of that gene pool.
Yeah, too bad he
Oh my god.
That was funny. Too bad he lied to me today too and said I'll be there watching tonight.
Oh.
Well,
yeah, you should have known right off the bat.
It's funny, when he's on the show, he'll show up late, but he'll be here. And when he's not on the show, I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
He's out there
from
flying
Rollo.
his
Why
kite.
are y'all being so mean?
Go ahead. I don't give
No,
a
I'm
shit.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, and that's actually another that now that we're on his subject or the subject of Rollo, I don't think he was related to Ragnar at all, which is another liberty taken, I believe.
Sure. See, even in this whole thing here, Ragnar's not even mentioned.
Yeah, I mean the show definitely doesn't stick to the point. They just they
made a fantastic character. So
are you guys familiar with? Have you guys seen the movie The Northman yet?
Absolutely.
No, I heard it's really good.
Have you ever
I liked
seen
it.
Lion King?
What?
Well, Dog hasn't seen The Northman. Have you seen The Lion King?
The live action one?
I have.
Okay, you're good then.
Understood.
What is that? Is that
another
related?
retelling of Hamlet?
It's Hamlet, which
it is.
Which you're about to say.
Yes, that it's the story of Hamlet, who Shakespeare adopted the Northman off of, or adopted Hamlet off of.
Which is why he's a Danish prince and not English.
Interesting.
It is
because a guy like Shakespeare gave a shit about making his shit accurate.
Yeah, and
it's a good writer.
And Hamlet itself is like a play on words, right? He just kind of mixed up both names are use the same letters.
Yeah, I forget what the other name is. It's been a long time since I've read Hamlet.
Did Shakespeare write
that? No, sorry, I thought you were talking about the other, the uncle's name in Hamlet.
No, because in just all honesty, I don't even really know the Hamlet story. It's
the only character I remember is Gertrude.
Seriously, the Lion King,
right?
Animated
brother kills a brother, takes the throne,
and
then the son wants revenge.
Yeah, and the son wanders and has a deal with the ghost of his father and returns to have a mighty battle with the uncle and take the throne.
What I do really love about the Northmen, though, is like they did a pretty good job getting the accuracy of the culture down, like in terms of like what just like reading and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that I really love is they do a good job. Also, do a good job of making sure that you understand there's a difference between the berserkers and the normal fighters.
Right. And that one scene. Fucking beautifully
about them
done.
Casting William Dafoe as the father.
Well, he's not the father. He's the fool. What's his name is the father? Fucking god damn it. Why am I forgetting? The dude that was in hold on. Ethan Hawke, sorry. Ethan Hawke's the father. Willem Dafoe is the fool, like the jester, the court jester. Or the seer, almost.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Ethan Hawke is the king, the father. And then Willem Dafoe is he plays like the court jester, the fool, gets his tongue cut out.
Fuck, man, I didn't rewatch this. I could have sworn William Dafoe was and Ethan Hawke was the bad guy. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I rewatched it like not too long ago. I like it. It was more. I was hoping for more of rather less like folklore and more. But I guess when you're adapting a Norse saga, like there's gonna be a lot of like mythology and whatnot in it, like how he claims the sword.
So I liked the mythos stuff in the beginning. I thought like it kind of creeped me out, but I thought it was very good and it definitely had its place. The thing I was kind of hoping for was more of a traditional, the hero returns and leads an army to take. But like I was kind of hoping for like this big battle. I did really like what we ended up getting. But it was not what I wanted when I went into the theater to see it.
I mean, it's your classic. It's like as classic of a revenge story as you can get. And that's one of the kind of things that I critique about it is that like I was looking for more of a meatier, like thicker substance than what we had gotten. It seemed like pretty just like bare to the bones, like I'm gonna seek revenge. They build the main character up to be like just an obvious, like I'm rooting for him to get his revenge. It felt a little bit too much like a Revenant type of movie.
Just safe story.
Yeah, but in the end, phenomenal acting, really good cast, and just overall, like cinematography was on point. Which, like I'm a pretty big Robert Eggers fan, so most of what he puts out, I really enjoy. I know horror fans don't really like The Witcher much. Not The Witcher, sorry.
The Witch.
The Witch. A lot of like big horror buffs don't necessarily like that as a horror movie, but if you look at it in terms of a movie itself, really a lot better than most of the stuff that comes out. And he definitely likes Anya Taylor-Joy, or right? That's her name.
Yeah. Is it Anya? It's not Anna. Well, I guess she's not English. She's Irish, so it probably is Anya.
I've always said Anya. But yeah, no, she's a great actress. Other than the bug eyes, she's pretty hot too. But yeah, she's I think she does a pretty good job in both those movies. Skarsgård, Alexander Skarsgård, is phenomenal in that movie.
He kills it in just about anything. I think anything I've ever seen him in, he's done a very good job.
I mean, when your father is now I'm forgetting his name.
His brother's Bill.
Yeah. Why am I forgetting his father? I should. What the hell?
Stellan.
Thank you. God. Stellan Skarsgård. Like, yeah, they probably get so much. Like both Bill and Alexander probably.
All four of them get a lot of work.
Well, they probably have been taught how to act since they were 10 years old. Having a father or like Stellan, like he probably teaches them all the niche.
A lot of those Danish families that get into acting, they all have. they've got bloodlines that have been doing it for like 150 years now. Sure. Like, and then you got some British families like that as well. Who's the guy from 24? Donald. His father's Donald. President Snow in the Hunger Games.
Oh, I could picture him. I have no idea what his name.
Come on, chat.
Sutherland. I have no idea.
You got the Sutherlands. They're British Canadian, but Mickelson, both
Does
of
this help at all?
all
Oh,
these
yeah, Lars
families
Mickelson.
from over there. That
Does this help at all?
sorry.
Yeah.
So I was just talking about how you got all these families that their fathers are like top tier actors, or incredible character actors, and so all the kids, if they act, know how to do an incredible job at it.
Yeah, I mean it's a great point. I don't. Have you watched Succession yet?
Succession.
Yeah, have you watched that yet?
No, not yet.
I really liked it. It's weird because it's not like crazy into dramas, but this one was fucking, in terms of TV, this one was absolutely like so good. And even though Skarsgård is only in the last season, like he fucking murders it as like just some ruthless CEO.
Skarsgård is the one from Thor and Andor, right?
Yeah.
He was in
Stellan.
Thor?
Yeah, he plays.
You're right. Yeah, he's in Dark World.
Yeah,
and Avengers and Avengers.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of them. He's the scientist.
Yeah, and he also plays Bootstrap Bill.
Yeah, because Natalie would cost too much, so they just used him.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Jeez.
Part of the ship, part of the crew. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Yeah, no, and they're like being from that. I think are they Danish?
I almost want to say they're actually Icelandic.
Well, regardless,
I read that somewhere.
They like he fits the role of a Viking. Like, I'm surprised.
Stellan, he's Swedish.
Swedish, okay.
Stellan, his kids are Swedish American. I think they have.
And you know what?
Citizenship here.
Their brother, another son, was in Vikings.
Gustav.
Not Bill.
Gustav.
Yeah, Gustav plays Floki, one of my favorite characters in that show.
Ooh, love Floki.
I know.
Another psychopath they made us fall in love with.
And you see, you hate him when he kills Athelstan, but
No.
I kind of hated him because Athelstan, I loved his character arc.
No.
You didn't care?
I did not.
See, dude, I get emotionally attached to the characters of shows that I love. So like,
I completely understood why Floki thought he needed to do it, and
no, I did too. I
what hurt me was that I knew how much it would hurt Ragnar, and I knew Floki did as well. But I totally understood why he did it, and I was like,
dude. I couldn't do it. No, because I don't know. Like, I wanted Athelstan to win so bad. Like, where's your arm ring?
I just learned something. For Skarsgård, I had Peter Sarsgaard in there as well, but nope, those are two different families.
Wow, good job, Caleb.
Well, okay, so with these, like, what's his name? Fimmel, the one who plays Ragnar. What's his first name?
Guess is as good as mine.
Actually, it's probably better. It's Fimmel. I know his last name is Fimmel though. Vikings cast.
You're gonna beat me to it.
Travis Fimmel. He's phenomenal in the role. Does like an okay accent, but like having actual like Swedes and stuff, like I think make like
Yeah.
series like this.
Well,
you know?
it's almost like you need these people to be in these roles to understand, because they're not just playing a role, they're playing their history.
Right.
To an
It's
extent,
like, you
it's
remember
still-
did you ever see the movie Fences?
No.
So you know what it's about?
No.
Oh my god, what's his name? Black actor, the most famous black actor, Denzel Washington. So Denzel Washington it's a movie that follows him being a father in the 30s, maybe the 40s, I think. And in, I think it's like New York, and it follows him being a father, trying to teach his son to do what's right, be a good provider, but doing it in a way that how his father treated him, not how his son wants him to treat him. So Denzel's giving this interview, and this lady asks him something like, you know, this is a very black story. Do you think other people could have done this? And it's kind of a dumb question. And he goes, absolutely, other people could have directed this movie. I didn't have to direct the movie, but I understood what the movie was about. Sure. And he goes, you know, other people. This was right around when when Scorsese had said something like that he was originally going to direct Schindler's List, and so they asked him about that, and he said, you know, Scorsese could have done a good job with Schindler's List. It would have been a good movie. We would have all cried. It would have been great. But Spielberg had to direct that movie because Spielberg knew what the story was about. And that's why it's important to have these actors who know what the story is. Not just Henry Cavill in The Witcher, but people who know what you're making a story and you're filming something that millions of people are going to watch about these people's history and their culture. They need to be on set. They need to be in the show, in the movie, so that they can make sure it's right.
Yeah. That's
welcome to my TED Talk.
No. That's a very fair point. I mean, like it also just adds a level of integrity, I guess you could say.
Authenticity.
Right? Yeah.
Believability. Like John, what's his name?
Yeah.
Always says, it's not about realism, it's about believability. You need to believe the story's real. If the viewer believes it, that's one less time you've got to get them to buy into it.
And one thing I just hate seeing is like when I'm not buying a characters from a certain place. I hate when people are supposed to be in Spain and they have like English accents. You know, like
or they're incredibly white. It's like you could.
Well, I'll have to say, like, are you talking about like in terms of Spain or like?
Yes, but what I mean is
so many white people in Spain, dude. Like it's predominantly white people.
But I don't mean a white person. I mean like they look like they're Irish.
So okay, like my best friend, he grew up raised in Spain. Like family has a castle. Like after
because of the Irish Revolution in like 1630, but prior to 1630, there would not have been Irish dissidents in Spain.
I don't think he has Irish bloodline. Like there are a lot of like, so yeah, it's on the Mediterranean Sea, but there are so many Europeans. Like it's kind of hard to like really pinpoint, I think, bloodlines in that region because
what I'm really meaning is, you know when you go to the beach and you see someone that clearly doesn't leave their house. That's what I'm saying when I say white person. Like when you're watching something that's supposed to take place in Spain in 1450, and you see the whitest
they look more
Irishmen
Slavic than anything.
Do what?
They look more Slavic than anything.
Yes, yeah. You see the whitest Irishman ever show up. Yeah, I'm not buying it, guys. That's why Timothée Chalamet is such a bad cast in The King.
You also hate him.
So. I really do.
There is that.
He must have run out of beer. He has to go get a new beer. Maybe this time y'all can skull.
Perhaps. I had to get some grub too. I'm famished. Come on.
Ooh. Buddy of mine had his first did his first cataract surgery today.
Oh.
Shit. I should have hit him up for a loan. He's making bank.
That does not sound fun.
Better than cardiac surgery.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dog, being a warfare guy. What are your and he's back.
Sorry, go on. I'm listening.
What are your thoughts on warfare at the time? So, like, I'm sure they did in Vikings, but you know, I was talking about how I enjoyed how in The Last Kingdom they showed the whole shield wall and all that kind of stuff. Is this your girlfriend?
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that what you've been looking at for the last? That's why you turned your camera off, because you've been busy looking at her for a while.
No, I've been eating.
Yeah. Eating her.
Eating what?
Fucking wish.
That's so funny. So bad, dude. So hot.
Nice and grimy.
So I know you asked Dog this, but I think really it wasn't even just the shield wall, because the shield wall was I'm pretty sure the English
Spartans.
Yeah, I mean the shield wall had been around for a while, and I think that I think it was just the ruthlessness of Vikings.
Yeah. So you know that's a good point, because even the Roman legions did shield walls.
Hey, sorry, no worries, buddy. We'll reschedule. I hope you feel better. Honestly, man. We'll figure it out. I hope you feel better. Thanks for showing up.
I think we need to consult with Antonio about that.
What do you think, Antonio?
Oh, good.
Yeah, I hope you feel better, buddy.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the ruthlessness of Vikings and like their lack of fear when it comes to death, and you know, you could. Okay, so from the standpoint of an Englishman, they're like, you know, I don't want to say scared, but like when you're fighting for honor and for your God, when you put that next to a guy that has no fear of death, because when he dies, he's gonna be, it's
Valhalla.
Yeah, he's gonna meet his brothers in death, and he's gonna feast, and he's gonna fight for the rest of his life. So
welcomes death.
They welcome death, exactly. Versus a guy who's scared of death but is honorable. When you put those two next to each other, I'm gonna put my money on the guy that's like, I don't care if I die.
Yeah.
I'm here for the glory. People will remember my name if I die.
Well, and what's even funniher,
that's why Marines are scary.
Yeah, what's even funnier about that is, you know, you've got all these different tribes of people that, for the most part, believe the same thing, but realize in order to get to Valhalla, I have to die with a sword in my hand. So the only way that's happening is we're all going to kill each other.
Right.
Like old age is shameful.
Do what?
I said old age is shameful.
Yep. Which is funny because, you know, if you had managed to survive battle time and time and time again, why should old age be shameful?
Because you'll never get to the glory of going out at your height.
It's
It's like Nick Saban not retiring before the program takes a nosedive.
Yeah. Well,
like you're only going to be so good at a certain point, and then eventually it's all going to just decline, and you're a shell of your former self. And if you believe your God's looking upon honor like that,
you got something you want to say to Nick Saban?
Retire, sir. You done been replaced.
What he needs to do is he needs to go try to get like a New Year's Six bowl game next year and retire from that. He's not going to get back to Natty.
Okay, this isn't a sports podcast.
I know. Sorry.
We're not talking about the Vikings.
My comment was relevant.
The football team.
I thought this was called Into the Rabbit Hole for a reason.
That's too funny. But yeah, I think it's kind of hard to say why it would be shameful to, to die an old death. And let's be honest, dying of old age back then was like what, 50, 60,
30.
No.
I think the
old age at 30.
No, because the idea that you would be, everyone was dying at like 35 years old, that's Hollywood BS. Yeah. It was much closer to like late 50s, early 60s. And it's the same thing with the idea that childbirth was incredibly difficult. It was incredibly difficult in certain areas, but over the average, it was about as difficult as it is today. People just, especially numbers wise, people just had a lot more kids back then too.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
At night, there's only one thing to do.
Get warm.
We can turn Netflix on now. There's only one form of entertainment.
They didn't have no heat and AC. They had to get warm. Yeah. Otherwise,
they had to get out of the pellets and they had to cuddle up.
Yeah, they had to get warm with Lagathas. Dude, while we're on this topic, such a brutal way to go by axe or sword or arrow.
Which would you rather?
None of them. Fuck.
Old age. Depending on where the arrow is, I'll take the arrow.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
If it's in the right spot, absolutely, I'll take the arrow.
There's a lot of good spots for an arrow.
Shit, dude, you get your head cut off, you're done. But if you haven't, my lord, stop.
Okay, guys.
This was a fun stream. I'll be right back, guys. I'll see you next week. No, but dude, okay, they all would suck. You get sliced in the arm, you can't fight anymore, or leg, and your artery is just spilling, and you're same with an axe. But like an arrow, that should get.
Say all of this sucks. You want to know what's really good? Shock.
Fair enough.
I mean, come on.
Fair enough. No, that's fair.
Adrenaline.
We have shock for a reason, so that when we get our arms sliced off, we don't really it's not really hurting.
You're just sitting there.
Yeah, you're just like,
and
then
I literally didn't feel a thing when the tip of my finger got lopped off. I didn't feel anything.
That's what. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The closest thing I've had to I've sliced my finger open to the bone. That sucked.
Yep.
But I was super hammered. Which
it sucks afterwards. When it first happens, it doesn't even hurt.
You're right. I was gonna say I barely felt it. Now, what sucked?
I more got freaked out about the amount of blood that was coming out of my hand.
Same here. No, I got freaked out and almost had almost passed out when I opened the bandage the next morning and looked at it and saw white. I like sweat and all of that, and I had to drive myself to the ER.
Did you see bone?
Yeah. Not good. It was right across my knuckle.
On yourself.
I was sharpening a knife. I was sharpening a brand new Sentoku.
Oh, you had the rod.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good at it sober. Blacked out blacked out's not a smart idea to start sharpening a brand new knife that's already sharp. So I was doing that, and I went, and it wasn't even a hard cut. It just slipped, and it didn't go down. It just sliced like a vegetable. And I was blacked out. I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. There's a lot of blood. I'm going to just like wash it out, wrapped it up. I unwrapped it the next day, and I saw my bone and like white pus around it, and looked at it, and I was like, okay, driving myself to the ER. Like, and like
welcome
barely
down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, actually though. But like this is on topic of getting sliced. Like, dude, imagine that times 10 across your forearm, and you're like, there's no modern medicine, there's no ER you drive to.
Also, an arrow you could easily survive too if it wasn't placed well. So I'm doubling down on arrow. I'm all on board.
Well, right, but it's so fake when you see someone like rip out an arrow, because you're supposed to actually snap the arrow and push it straight through.
Well, actually,
right?
don't move it.
Depends on the barb.
Don't move it.
Well,
don't
what do you
snap
do?
it off. Just don't move it.
What do you do?
You get the hell out of the fire range and tend to it later.
Well, but okay, yes.
He's
but
talking about
saying,
how do you tend to it.
Like when someone is tending to it, like in the movies, like I've seen a bunch of different things. I've seen people like pull it out, and then I've also seen like people like going up to a tree or something, or a wall, snapping it and then pushing it through, which is, I think, the like quote.
That's the worst thing you could do.
Well, it depends on the barb.
Yeah. Do not remove it, because that is blocking you losing blood.
Okay, well,
now if you're in the place that you're going to get healed at, if it's a flat arrowhead, which is what they would have used in 920, then you break off the shaft and you push it through.
Yes,
that is what you do.
How
then they cauterize.
Remove it. Yes.
Then they cauterize after.
I mean, yeah.
Cauterize or stitch if they have
or
stitching.
plug with something.
Yeah, dirt.
Moss.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Is
Moss
that a joke?
Pretty good as a
dirt.
There's a reason. What's you're a Marine? What's the thing they say? Pack it with dirt.
Rub some dirt in it.
Yeah, like dirt is a legitimate thing that people use to pack wounds.
It actually clogs your
And probably it sounds counterintuitive. I would imagine for back then, probably helped fight off infection a little bit.
Yes, right? But initially your worrying is bleeding out, not infection. And you have to survive step 1 first.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They were actually relatively advanced in medicine back then. There was the understanding that, I mean, and they still had the dumb ideas like bloodletting and stuff like that. But they still overall knew, okay, blood needs to stay in the body. The best thing to do is we've got this thing that we drink a lot of, and that's apparently safe to put on bodies.
What, wine?
Yeah, wine, alcohol,
ale. Yeah.
So they knew all that kind of stuff. I doubt they knew why, but yeah, I mean,
if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Yep. Some crazy stuff.
Well, while we're in the rabbit hole, the Amazonian tribes are known for like finding, like just knowing the right plant to roast. You strip a tree bark, get the sap, rub it on a wound. Once the bleeding stopped, and it cures infection. So like,
it's kind of like Japanese chicken.
Do you know? Real quick side tangent. Do you know why ayahuasca was founded or
not
utilized?
Why, but I know that it's something like 12 different plants like mixed together with each other.
And one of them has to be cooked and one of them doesn't. But the purpose that it was used for was when killing monkeys, you had the serious problem of them hanging on with their tail or their hands, and they wouldn't fall out of the damn tree. But if you poison the tip of the arrow with ayahuasca, they hallucinate and muscles relax and
so
let go.
I know we listen to the same shit, I heard that's a different blend of plants. It's not ayahuasca. It uses some of the same plants, but it was an actual sedative that they would make and dip, and then the monkey would fall off.
I thought that's how, like, that's the reasoning behind how ayahuasca came to be founded. No.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm fine. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Caleb. Sorry. Yeah, no, you could be right, and I could have misheard the that part of it. I was under the impression when I'm listening to that it was actually just like a different, just a different concoction of plants. But
was this
I
a
think
Rogan podcast?
No, it was. Yeah, I think we are digressed enough at this point for the rabbit hole. I'm gonna call it. Okay. Thank you everyone for showing up. This won't be the last Vikings podcast. I hope to do some. Thank you again for showing the beautiful Lagatha. But no, we'll do more on this. This was more of a generic kind of just overall on Vikings. I plan on doing multiple streams on specific Vikings and kings and their histories.
We'll find more information.
Exactly. But anyway, thank you all for showing up. Love y'all. Thank you, Star Wars Dog and King's Advisors for showing up.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
And talking. And we will see you guys next week. Have a good night.
Goodbye, everybody.
See y'all.